My name is Louis McElwain, and I'm the co-founder of Thirst No More Corporation. This evening, I am here with my colleagues to talk about a very important issue that's happening in our world right now. So just to let you know what's going on, at this time, when the world is fighting the invisible enemy that we call the coronavirus or COVID-19, our key frontliners, the health caregivers, are in urgent need of our support in the continent of Africa. Taking the lessons that were learned in the United States and Europe, personal protective equipment, which we call PPE, will save the lives of health workers in Africa and slow the spread of the disease. Now, in some areas in Africa, medical personnel are being asked to wash and reuse their PPE, which we know puts them at great risk. We seek to raise funds to procure PPE for the frontline medical workers who daily put their lives at risk to save others. Together, we need to make a difference during this critical time. Our purpose tonight is simply to share our insights into the need for PPE and what we are all doing in order to make that a reality in the continent of Africa. With that stated, I would like to start with my friend and colleague, Mrs. Yinka Taiwo of Africa Needs You. Madam Yinka, first of all, good evening, and how are you?
Good evening. I am doing well. Thank you. I hope everybody else is doing well.
Yes, we are. And so, Madam Yinka, please, in your own way, tell us about the importance from your point of view of the PPE situation and what needs to be done in order to make that more of a reality in the continent.
All right. Well, from my point of view, I'm here as a representative of Africa Needs You, and our organization is geared towards the development of Africa, as well as not just the infrastructural development, but the physical development of people in Africa. And at this time, in the U.S. side, we've been asked to shelter in place, but we have the healthcare workers that still have to go out every single day to provide care for all those who are sick. And I believe that for us, the least that we can do is make sure that we create or we provide equipment for them that will keep them safe. To that end, the least we can do is at least procure the equipment and be able to assist them in having supplies available so that they are not exposed to the virus that is out there. And even though they have to go out, but we can at least support them in protecting them. So hence that's our drive or our focus at this time.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. And because your husband is sitting right next to you, I would like to also welcome him. This is Reverend O. Paul Taiwo, who is the Executive Director of Africa Needs You. Reverend Paul, welcome to this conversation. How are you, sir?
Very well. Thank you, Minister Louis McQueen. Thank you dearly for inviting us and putting a searchlight on the spotlight with where we are globally with the pandemic of the coronavirus, COVID-19, and Africa. We, for 14 years now, running Africa Needs You, and this is where we come to play, is to be an impact on the continent when there is need. And I'm thankful and appreciative of my colleagues, my doctor friends that have brought the idea up, and At this point, we are praying that we can put a package together for PPE that we produced and sent to base on the continent of Africa for the frontliners that are working so diligently hard to be a blessing.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing. And our conversation wouldn't be complete without having a very special person with us as well. And for me, it is really the first opportunity that I've had to really work alongside a physician, and in this case, a pediatrician. And so, Dr. Maiwa Thiam, I welcome you to our conversation. It has been a pleasure over the past few weeks to work with you and collaborate on this situation with PPE in your own words, because you, more than any of us, really have an understanding of what is actually happening on ground level. Share with us for a moment just what this project means to you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Maiwa Thiam. Like you said, I'm a pediatrician. I'm just one of the doctors that believes in this great project, and that is why I'm representing the whole group. I'm glad to be part of this, and we're happy that we can be a form of shoulder that our colleagues, our friends back in Africa can lean on, because we can see from what had happened in countries like America, like Europe, where there have been challenges about personal protective equipment. And being doctors, and we're part of the health workers, we know what it means. This personal protective equipment helps to prevent the spread of germs. And because it is very important, they're at risk of getting infected. And we know that this COVID-19 is a new disease, and that the pathology nobody understands yet. So many challenges, and we feel that if we can support in our own little way, I think by generating and be able to donate the PPE to our colleagues back in Africa and to make a difference in this critical time, I think it will be a great thing that will bring smiles to their faces and a happy environment for them to be able to function better.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. And so it has been a privilege and an honor to just take these few moments in order to really just share our hearts concerning our healthcare workers in the continent of Africa. And so for those of you all who are listening to this video, you might be asking now, well, how can I help? How can I be part of this great movement in order to make sure that the healthcare workers who are so valued right there on ground level are able to save lives and also be able to do it and in the safety of being able to protect themselves in the process? And so for that reason, we have a goal this evening of raising $10,000 towards that equipment. And there are several ways that you can do that, which I am getting ready to put on my screen right now. And so the first way is simply by going to our GoFundMe page, which is getting ready to pop up now. And you can see that, if you can see the address at the very top, you can go to gofundme.com /F/ and then COVID-19 help FOR health workers ? And if that seems a little complicated, don't worry about it, because if you just search on GoFundMe and you search under PPE for health workers in Africa, you will be able to find our link and be able to give in the safety of knowing that all of your donations are secure and all of them are also tax deductible. Likewise, if that doesn't work for you, we have other avenues in which you can give. for those that want to simply write a check. That check would be made payable to Africa Needs You, and the address that it would be sent to would be P.O. Box 305, Jessup, Maryland 20794, and please reference PPE. There's a third option that's also available for those of you all that are familiar with Zelle. You can simply go to Zelle, and the email address to use would be Africa Needs You. And let me spell that out for you. That would be AfricaNeedsU@gmail.com. Again, Africa Needs You @gmail.com, also referencing PPE. We thank you so much for listening. We thank you even more for your gifts and your donations to our cause. And we also just ask for your prayers as we continue the work of making sure that our healthcare workers are safe and that they are able to save lives in the continent of Africa. God bless you and good evening.